we're here today to do some condition scoring of cattle, and condition scoring specifically helps us to determine how much feed these animals are going to need through a hot, dry summer.
G'day, my name is Simon Ellis. I'm a livestock consultant and pasture consultant working in the high rainfall areas of South Australia. Today we're going to look at how to condition score cattle and how to relate that to their management during dry times. How many of you have done condition scoring before? In sheep? Okay, so what we're looking at is the amount of fat on the short ribs back here, and it's a scale that runs from 1 to 5, with 1 being skin and bone. That photograph I showed you of that old Frisian cross animal, and 5 is, I reckon there might even be a 5 in there, really fat everywhere. So if we're looking at these short ribs, if you look at it as fat score 1 is where you can feel in between and around all of those short ribs. So fat score 2, so you can still get in between but not as easily as you can with a 1. 3, so you can still feel there, but again there's a bit more meat and fat around it. Fat score 4, you can just feel the ends of the ribs but you can't get in between at all. And fat score 5, it's just, and when they get to fat score 5, I reckon there is one there that might meet the grade. It almost feels slippery when you run your hands over them. So these are the short ribs here, and this girl has absolutely his. So here are the short ribs, and you can't feel anything there. There's fat on all sides of them. Now with cattle, you've got that. You've also got the build-up of fat here, sort of around the tail and down along the brisket. You're all familiar with how the really fat animals start to get fat down here. But this area here is the easiest. It's probably the most reliable area to condition score on. The fat around the tail head there. So when they start moving into the 5 score area, the fat starts to build up at the back around the tail head, and her short ribs are completely covered, and you can't feel them at all. So the ends of feeling the ends of the short ribs and the muscle on top of the short ribs. And so this animal is about a condition score 3.5. And looking also at the amount of fat around the tail head, she hasn't got a lot around there. Whereas if we walk across to this larger animal here, there's a lot of fat around the tail head. So what I'd like you to do, just quietly and one at a time, is just come in and tell me what you can feel there. Just go through one at a time quietly. Your first decision is your best decision. Don't agonise over it. So you're looking at, with your fingers you do the ends of the short ribs, and with your thumb you do the top of them. And the fatter they get, the more muscle and fat they get on the top there as well. So it's a sort of a double process. There's a range from say 3.25 to 5. So it's more than you might have thought just looking at them. And can you also see how much better it is putting your hands on them, because what you think you see and what is actually there is not the same.
If you'd like to find out more about dry times or the Sustainable Agriculture Program, please check out our website